Mira Akella stood in the grand dining room of the Wonder Hotel, the most luxurious establishment in the city. The crystal chandeliers overhead glinted in the soft golden light, casting a warm glow over the sleek, polished surfaces of the room. Around her, sharply dressed executives sat at the long mahogany table, their eyes fixed on her as she concluded the negotiation with an air of calm confidence. "It's settled, then," Mira said, her voice steady and resolute. "Akella Company will move forward with the partnership under the proposed terms. I'll have my team finalize the paperwork by morning." There was a ripple of nods from the opposing side, though some of the faces were tinged with a mix of begrudging admiration and frustration. Myra's precision and eloquence had cornered them, leaving little room for maneuver. Even in the world of ruthless business negotiations, she stood tall, a woman among wolves, both figuratively and literally. As the meeting concluded and handshakes were exchanged, Myra's sharp gaze landed on Edward, one of the younger members of the rival team. His smirk was unmistakable, and the derision in his eyes ignited a flicker of irritation in her chest. She knew the type all too well. Men who couldn't stand to see a woman outshine them, especially one who couldn't shift. "Impressive work," Edward said, his tone dripping with condescension. "For someone who isn't a wolf, you certainly hold your own." The air around the table grew tense. Myra's lips curled into a cold smile, her polished demeanor unshaken. "Thank you for acknowledging that," she replied, her words cutting like a blade. "Though, if someone like me, a woman who can't shift, managed to outmaneuver you tonight, what does that say about you?" The laughter that followed wasn't hers alone. A few of the other executives chuckled awkwardly, their loyalty divided but amused by her sharp wit. Edward's smirk faltered, replaced by a flicker of anger. He opened his mouth to retort, but Mira had already turned away, dismissing him as if he were beneath her notice. As the crowd dispersed, Mira excused herself to the restroom, needing a moment to breathe. She'd won the deal, but the night wasn't over yet. The weight of her responsibilities as the deputy CEO of Akella Company never truly lifted. The expectations, the doubts, the constant need to prove herself, they clung to her like shadows. Stepping into the lavishly adorned ladies' room, Mira let out a soft sigh. She straightened her posture and smoothed the fabric of her tailored dress, her reflection staring back at her with the same determined gaze she'd worn all evening. But before she could relish a moment of solitude, the door swung open behind her. She turned, and her